Good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening, as we're here now on Thursday, the 12th of June, 2025. All right, my friends, as we look at the markets tonight, interesting day. PPI didn't come in hot at all. We had the 30-year auction, and there was fear. I was scared, would there be enough bid to cover ratio? As it looks, it came out great in reality. I mean, it was a strong auction. The dealers that have to make up whatever the public and other dealers don't take only had to take in 11%. That's not a big number at all. They can resell that blindfolded. So this was actually a good number, and it helped the whole market stay stable and keep interest rates down. Even mortgage rates fell a little bit. That's important. You've heard the president say that they're coming to the end. There's frustration going with the Iran situation. Iran keeps, because he was asked today in a news conference about moving people out of the embassies and families away, and he said just what I wrote about yesterday in my update. Why keep the families or anybody you have to in harm's way? We don't know what will happen. He won't say if Iran is going to be attacked by the U.S. and or Israel or just Israel. Who the heck knows? He did say that time has run out, basically. So now it's up to, and he said it very clearly, he wants a peace deal. He wants to do business with Iran. He will help their economy get going. They've got to stop the uranium enrichment. That's it. That's his line in the sand. So they either do it or not. Iran's answer was, we're building another uranium plant. We can enrich even quicker. Okay. We'll see how Sunday goes. And as you can imagine, hearing that, you're getting bids in the energy market. It isn't so much whether Iran's oil gets lost, all right, because Israel may choose to take out the oil facilities with the U.S. permission. We don't know. But it's the Strait of Hormuz that can be all the problem, because so much oil of other countries goes through that, and Iran could become very mischievous, and that could be a real problem for the markets if a deal can't be worked out. We all got our fingers crossed. As for trusting the Iranians, I'll go on record. You got to be out of your mind. Not that government. Can't do it, all right? They've proven it. Did you see the IEA? What they came up with, they said they've been lied to, all right? It's really simple. They enriched way more. They can't check it. There's no way to do it. They'll be up for sanctions. I think it's next week at the UN, because they're the watchdog that tells the committee. But it'll get blocked. We know that. China and Russia could do a lot of things. The world knows. All right. And by the way, that has nothing to do with Israel being Jewish, Iranians being Muslims. It's the country. Understand what's going on there. So we always get a wise guy or two. That isn't what it's about. In my opinion, this is about they can't have uranium. It's that simple from our perspective. Okay, so now where are we to go? Well, here's where you're at. Tomorrow, what you're going to get in the market is Father's Day sale. It starts right now. So if you're interested in getting any of my research, just the research, 1/3 off. So you get 3 months of the morning subscriber videos for $34. So it's basically $12, not even that. It's less than $12 a month. You're getting 1 month free on the sale is what it boils down to. It will end Monday. I always get somebody that comes up and says, the sale's over. I didn't realize that. Can you help me? No. Buy now, don't do that. I had this happen in the silver. I had somebody that I know, and he said, Ira, I missed the silver report. Well, you waited for the last minute. End of discussion. Don't do that. All you need to do is go to our website. There's an icon up here. Take advantage of it. Okay. So when we go to everything that we've got here, and by the way, tomorrow, what we should look at before I get into the charts with you is this. You're going to get the University of Michigan, the prelim consumer sentiment indices. They'll come out at 9 o'clock. So far in this, what we call inflation week, quotes unquote, the numbers have not shown tariff inflation. None of the numbers. What we do see is that we're spending money a lot faster than we thought, and that the Treasury will run out of funds by July, August. So we need to get the budget under control. We need to get this tax bill done. I think most of us think a tax bill will get done. What it finally looks like, I don't know. We're hoping to see it sooner rather than later as the Senate, I hope they don't drop it off on July 4th. I think they should give it earlier if they can come to any consensus on what they're going to do back to the House so they can get things moving quicker. All right, so let's come back to the chart action that we were talking about. So if you look at the charts, are you going to go up for a contract high close? That's really the question. Each break in the market, including today's, was bought. I was doing my morning spider ETF this morning, and I'd seen the CPI and the market was down, and I told traders, I said, well, actually, the report hadn't come out yet. I'm trying to think which one I did. Was it the S&Ps? I think it was. It wasn't in the spiders in that. It was in the futures. And in the futures, I said to people, hey, there's a buy here if you want to go. It's high risk. I don't walk into those reports. They're too big. The market will decide that it's important, which it did, and what does it do with it? But I gave people ideas, and the market held the key numbers and rallied. Okay, that's all you can say about it. This has been a drawn-out, gradual affair, move to the upside. You're still far away from the contract high of 62.36. You're 200 points away in the S&P. The market has stayed over the 18-day average. It has stepped out of what I call a trend. You have a higher high and a lower low with the action in the market. Next, the market has run into resistance at the upper Bollinger Band. The bias is up. The momentum of the market is embedded. Until you lose the red line by it closing under 79, I think the market continues to get bought on the breaks, and the traders will bail if that happens. That's my opinion of it. When we look at the NASDAQ, it's the same thing. I wish I could hear ditto, and it would be it. You haven't been able to run up to the blue line, which is the contract high. The market has, in this case, a little difference. It's got higher lows, higher highs, which is bullish. The embedded reading and the bias up. So until you lose the embedded reading, this red line closing under 79, and it's at 84 and a quarter, I still think the pros are buying. Now, if you take out the highs of yesterday, I don't know that they'll buy on the break at that point. In the Dow, here's the contract high. You're fairly far away. Like the other markets, higher lows, higher highs. Do we have an embedded reading in this market? Well, let's find out. You cannot count Friday. We don't know where the market's going to finish. But we could certainly count Thursday. Both numbers were over 80. Both were over 80 on Tuesday, and both were over 80 on Tuesday. So you've got Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. You're embedded. So now I'm waiting to see what do the pros want to do with this market. I look for support to come in at 42,528 to 42,447, about a 50-point spread right there. And as long as the red line stays over 80, I think the pros stay in. You get under that, I think that will prove to be a trade top, and then we'll go into some other trading pattern. But this has been a one-way street since April 7th. Yeah, you've had little breaks in the market, but you can see since then you've come back. And the Russell, it's number one, not in the league of the others. Number two, it never did embed. It just headed down here. It does have support at 2101 to 2100. That's about all that I can say about it. It's now in overbought territory. In the DAX, we'll see. Can you hit that 18-day average? You certainly got pretty darn close, as you know, the other day right here. You missed it by 8 cents. So, for all purposes, you made your run towards it. Then we get to the bond market. Would you expect that we'd be talking today saying, look, at this market's overbought. It's in an uptrend. It's at the upper Bollinger Band and approaching the 100-day average of closes. That's where I expect the big resistance. But I didn't expect to be saying that. I thought that the 30-year bond auction would go poorly. It did not. Lower low, higher high. Market still pointing up in the 5-year, but not trending. It is caught between the higher and lower Bollinger Band. You're in sideways action. The dollar index stepped under the lower Bollinger Band, but it also made a new contract low. So you're now breaking out gradually to the downside. It's too oversold to join the party. But on rallies, this market will get interesting soon from the short side, not the long side. Not here, though. In the euro, if you embed, another way to play the dollar is to be long the euro. Now, you can't do it right here because you don't know if you're embedded. But let's see if we are. Both numbers were over 80 on Thursday. They weren't on Wednesday. So you're overbought over the Bollinger Band, could get a correction down there and get the dollar moving up here. Wouldn't surprise me, but the trends are set. That's the thing. You're still bullish the euro, bearish the dollar. In the British pound, coming right up to where I told you, if you get my updates, I thought the market could get back to the upper Bollinger Band. It should have real trouble right there. In Bitcoin, you have pulled back under the 18-day average. You're still very much caught in the sideways action where you went from the high Bollinger Band to the low, came up, couldn't make it to the high, and you just keep hanging around that 18-day average. The market's basing for something. I lean to the bull side for the next move. In Brent, you can see how the markets come up, and as you know, this does not have to do with demand. It has to do with supply. The fear of Iran and the U.S. walk away from the table with nothing, and at what point does President Trump quietly tell Israel, I can't get the deal done? Don't know. But saying that probably lets him go. Israel won't do anything until the president reaches that point. That's my guess. Do I know? They would do a lot if they were attacked. But barring that, I don't think they'll be the aggressor. But once they're the aggressor, it's going to get real nasty. And Iran knows that. Is this a cat and mouse game where they have something figured out? You know, you've got to always think that way. They keep saying this is like goading him. It reminds me of the Muhammad Ali, George Foreman fight, the rope-a-dope. Remember that? I remember it as a kid. Just goaded him and wore him out, and then all of a sudden, there he was. I hope Israel's ready for whatever comes in, and the U.S. Same thing here in the WTI, gasoline. You don't buy Bollinger Bands. You step back from all that. And when we go to the nat gas, you've just entered a period of nothing. We need the hot weather, and it's coming. All right, this will not be a summer where you don't get those blasts. We got today what I expected. You had an increase in storage because you've been cooler than normal, and that gave you that. Now the question, the high 80s are hitting all of the central part of the country for now the 10-day forecast. Let's see if that lasts and if that gets the usage going. Again, remember what will last for you. Take advantage, if you could, of the sale that we have for Father's Day. I think you'll find that if you go with this, what happens is this is something for yourself where all you need is one idea from me that pushes you where you want it to be. I don't want to manage anyone's money. I don't. It's just a question of, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Maybe that's the nudge you need, because I don't give that here. I give that only in my morning subscriber videos and in my written updates. And boy, those written updates, I do put out special updates. That's not included in the morning videos. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great day. Watch the other videos.